Living the Christed Life. James 1, 1 through 27. Beloved one, I would speak with you now about living the Christed life. How do you go about living the Christed life? It is to live from a place of joy, of peace, a place of knowing that you are loved of the Father, loved eternally. Living the Christed life means to live from the awareness of the Christ perspective, seeing all that happens through the eyes of the Christ, allowing, loving, forgiving. Living in the awareness of the Christ presence will transform everything in your world. It will transform everything which you see, everything which you speak, everything which you experience. It is the secret, if you will receive it, of fulfilling your contract. Do you know you have a contract? Indeed, you have a contract. You agreed before incarnation. You agreed before you decided to activate a physical body once again, that you would anchor your light upon this plane and that you would do the will of your Father who has sent you, and that in truth you would seek to live the Christed life. That has been your contract. Living the Christed life means remembering who you are. It means coming from the place of the heart, from the place of compassion, of great love and simplicity. Always look for simplicity. For the world will speak to you of complexity, but the heart and the truth of you knows simplicity. Your touchstone is oneness. Does whatever you are looking at, contemplating, speak from the place of the oneness? If it does, you are looking through the eyes of the Christ. It is as simple as that. Beloved one, I would share with you passages from a letter which a brother of mine wrote, James, my brother, a biological brother. Some have said that he is a half-brother to me biologically. I will claim him as a full brother. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. This was written in what you would see as a long time ago by one whom you do not quite remember, and yet you knew him. And he wrote this letter to the 12 tribes, brethren and sisters which are scattered abroad. In other words, they had traveled, gone into many countries, many places. It means that in this day and time, for have you not journeyed afar? This is a letter to you. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Count it as a blessing when there are challenges which come up in your awareness. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. In other words, when you perceive challenges and you are tempted to fall into world thinking, pause for a moment, instead of falling into habitual reaction, and look for the gift in it. For the trying of your faith brings forth remembrance. I am not alone. I have wisdom deep within me. All of the challenges which you call forth, indeed, you call forth as blessings, not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to see anew. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. In other words, as you allow the process of divine unfoldment, resisting not, you come to know and enter wisdom, a peace which the world does not know. And from the source of peace comes a remembrance that I am loved of the Father. I am his holy child, and if holy, whole, entire, I can lack nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, or feel that you do, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and it shall be given unto you. In other words, breathe the deep breath of inspiration and ask of your Father, who loveth you. Ask, what is the answer to what I am going through? And then breathe again and listen, and the wisdom shall be given to you freely and liberally. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. In other words, ask knowing, trusting, that the answer is going to be there for you. For indeed it cannot be withheld from you. For as you will fashion a question, as you will fashion a challenge, the answer is contained within the question and within the challenge. So ask in faith, knowing that the answer is already yours, nothing wavering, do not doubt. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea that is driven with the wind and tossed. You have known the feeling of being tossed about, adrift in a sea of confusion, where you have cried out to me and to the Father, to the brothers and sisters, and asked, what shall I do? I don't know how to get through what I am facing. And all kinds of answers have come to you. The brothers and sisters have spoken their opinion and their advice to you. The inner wisdom, the still small voice, has spoken when you have quieted yourself, and you have not known which voice to listen to, and you have felt like the wave which is driven by the wind, tossed about. But when you will breathe and come unto the sacred place of peace within the heart, and you will ask knowing, trusting that the answer has to be within you, has to be given to you, doubting not, clearly you'll see. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You have experienced that as you waver one way and another, you feel very unsteady, insecure, looking first to one source, then to another. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted. If you have had a humble opinion of yourself, if you have felt that you could not trust your answers or perhaps did not deserve to receive an answer, know that you are loved of the Father the same as any other. You are valued by the Father the same, equally as any other brother and sister. But the rich is made low, and as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perishes. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. In other words, the ones who exalt themselves and seem to be rich, and you exalt them and put them upon a pedestal perhaps, thinking that they have more, the exaltation is but temporal. The riches which you see in the world are passing. The riches which you are laying up for yourself, the riches of remembrance, the riches of trusting the inner guidance, the riches of knowing the deep peace within, these riches abide forever. And in that, each though a man would think himself lowly, he is exalted. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. When you encounter challenges, know that in truth you are coming more and more to the place of awakening, the place of atonement, the place of remembrance. For every trial which you set for yourself adds unto the catalyst for remembrance. Furthermore, I say unto you, that as your focus is upon the Father and his ways, you will not see temptation. Your Father has promised you the crown of life. Now, what is the crown of life? What is the highest gifting of life? It is to know, to realize that you are life itself, eternal, created of your Father, whom to love, to seek after, is to know life eternal. The crown of life is to remember who you are, beloved child of the Father. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, and neither does he tempt any man. Your Father is love, all love. He does not know duality as you know it in this plane. That is the part of the scripting which you have put into this reality with a small r, that there will be a belief in good and evil, and that you could be tempted. But never say that your Father tempts you. He does not know, cannot know, the concept of duality which you have put into this reality, for the Father is true isness, oneness. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away by his own lust and enticed. Now, lust is not just as you would define it, having meaning a sexual desire, but lust occurs when you are consumed by the desire to be in the world and the world thinking. When you are abiding in the space of ego thought, attending to the voice of the world, the what-ifs, the complexities, the egoic values, then you have tempted yourself. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. When you focus upon world appearances and listen to the voice of the world, you conceive a new creation, unknown to your Father, the belief in separation, the belief called sin. And when this belief has been taken to its developmental end, each succeeding belief in creation from that belief leads to the death of all joy, yea, even the hope of joy. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights. Every good gift comes from above, yes. Not above as a physical place, but above in the higher thinking, in the place of beholdment, in the place you reach when you take a deep breath and detach yourself from all of the constriction of the world for a moment or so, and you attain a new perspective. And it comes from the Father of lights, your Father which would illuminate all that you experience. Of his own he will beget us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruit of his creatures. You are of the Father, holy, created perfect from before time began, created from before time began, because you are one who has created time and all of the lineage thereof. You are of the Father, you are divine, you are holy, you are the first fruit created from the isness of your true being. An extension, if you will, not separate even as you would understand creation to be. You bring forth in this day and time creations, and you behold yourself as separate from your creations. You look upon a chair, you look upon the other pieces of furniture, and you say, "It is there, I am here, I am separate from it." In truth, the chair, the furniture, is energy coalesced into form, the same as what you do for your body. You are not separate from any of the energy of the universe, whatever form you may call forth to serve you. You are not separate from your creations, and you are not separate from the Father, even as you understand creation to be. It is better, perhaps, to use the concept of extension. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, and this includes sisters as well, let every man be swift to hear. Listen, slow to speak, until you have allowed yourself to stand back and behold, and slow of wrath. For wrath comes from judgment, and judgment proceeds from the belief in separation. And then, consequently, judgment predicated on the possibility of imperfection, as you see yourself and others separated from your perfection. Therefore, be swift to hear, attend, listen, slow to speak, and especially slow to wrath. Now, I have observed in your day and time, according to your culture, when you have conversation with brothers and sisters, there is an unspoken understanding that conversation shows your power. And when you are in conversation with one and they say something to you, you must reply in order to show that you are aware, that you are wise, that you are powerful, that you are. Even if you don't know what to reply, it is incumbent upon you to say something, and so you rush to speak. It is not necessary. Allow yourself to be slow to speak. Allow yourself to remember the space of Christ, to live from that space. And if you continue to stand in front of the one who is speaking and you smile, they will keep on speaking, will they not? For ones love to hear themselves, and you will stand there and allow them to speak. They will think how wise you are, for they will perceive that you want to hear what they have to say. Therefore you must be very wise, and all the while you are listening not only to what they are saying, but also to what is underlying what they are saying, the greater truth. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. When you are in wrath, you are in an energy which blinds you to the truth of your being and to the truth of the other's being, and it does not work the right useness of your Father's love. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. Be doers of the word, and not hearers only. For in truth you have been hearing my words for centuries upon centuries, now as you reckon time. Now it is time to be doers of the word. Now, what is the word? How can you be a doer of the word? What does that mean? You have a writing in the Holy Scriptures, in the beginning was the Word, John 1:1. In the beginning was the Logos, the Greek word for word as it is translated. Now you have played with your words, and you have seen how limited words are. You have played with subtleties of words, and you have seen that even then the words are constricting, they are limiting. And even when the words will be as a catalyst for understanding the concept, you have seen how concepts are yet limited. Logos. You have a word in this day and time which you use a lot in your business and your advertising. I believe it is called. You have the logos. Every organization, every grouping, every business chose for themselves a logo that can be a word, a series of words, a symbol of a sort, a picture. What does that logo do? It gives instant identity. It gives meaning encapsulated in that little bit of a symbol. That is what the broader meaning of the word logos means, a symbol of something more. The Greek word, which is translated now as word, carries with it much more meaning. It is an encapsulation. It is a logo for something much greater. The same as the logo which you choose for your organization, your business, stands for all of what that business, that organization means. Logos is a symbol which stands for the allness of all that is. So, in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the concept, the idea, the symbol of the allness which is. From that beginning, you are now experiencing an extension of the Logos of the Word. But be ye doers of the word. In other words, be ye doers of the love which is beyond the world's comprehension. And yet you will make it comprehensible as you live each day, and not hearers only. For long enough have you heard the word. Long enough you have heard all the words about love. Now it is time to be doers. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, He is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. In other words, if you look into the looking glass, the mirror, and you behold the natural face, you are seeing an appearance. And as you will focus just upon the natural face, as you will focus just upon what you see this body, this personality to be, and you go your way in the world, you forget who you truly are, the inner man. But whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he be not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. Now, how is he blessed? He is blessed because he is living in the joy of the Christ child. He is blessed because he is living in the Word and knows it for himself as he extends that love through himself to others. You cannot help but be blessed as you are extending love. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is in vain. True religion, not the outer religion, comes from being the doer of love. You have many examples of the outer religion, many gatherings where ones are feeling very exalted in their own understanding, yet could be quick to say that others do not have an understanding. The true religion comes from knowing and doing the Word, living the Christed life, living from the place of love. Pure religion and undefiled before God and Father is this, and if you have heard nothing else in this chapter, attend and pay attention: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep yourself unspotted from the world. In other words, to extend love, the Christ love, to the fatherless, not only the ones who have lost a biological father, but the ones who feel lost from the father, and widows, ones who feel they have lost their source of love and support, and to all others who are afflicted not only of body but in the soul. And to keep yourself unspotted from the world, to keep yourself, as often as you can remember, from falling into the pit of world thinking, to remember to be in joy, to remember to love, yea, even to be exuberant in your love. Life is a gift from yourself to yourself. Living the Christed life is the gift you give yourself. As you have heard, be you now doers of the message of Christ.